I'm Dr. McMillan, principal here at Spartanburg High School. Thank you so much for being here. I know it seems like it should be later on in the week, but it's only Tuesday for our students. This is hopefully, if we knock on wood, this will be our first full week without a delay or some type of weather event. So I appreciate our students hanging in there with us. I know it's January the 28th, but it's never too early to talk about next year. And you're here because you have a current ninth grade student or you have a current sophomore student. So we had a meeting last night for our rising seniors and their parents. Tonight we're doing our rising sophomores and juniors. And then on Thursday night we have our new babies coming to us from McCracken and Carver. So very strategic, very intentional this week to meet with our students. And so before we begin, you have a student that's in, again, one of two places. They're navigating their ninth grade year and all those things that come with that, or they're navigating their 10th grade year, but all of them have an eye to next year. For our freshmen, we just met with them at our class meetings as we came back from holiday break and said, guys, you're almost done with your ninth grade year. They've done such a great job, very proud of that group. And then for our sophomores, they're kind of in that weird area where they're no longer freshmen, they've got their feet under them, but they're looking towards that junior year. And junior year is really difficult traditionally in the high school setting. It's kind of a make or break for GPA, transcripts, college choices. So if you have a current sophomore, I don't want to say that to scare you, but know that that is a real issue that we face. And we've got a great team here that's going to walk with your child along that way. But again, I'm so glad you're here. I want to spend the next 20-25 minutes with you looking at a number of things for next year, but primarily focusing on some shifts in our schedule, which will make sense here in a second. So again, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to Spartanburg High School, and let's get started. Your student, guys, at Spartanburg High School, our mission and vision, we want to inspire and equip our students for college and career and for meaningful lives of leadership and service as world citizens. And our vision is once they graduate, they'll be creative, critical thinkers, collaborators, effective communicators, and ethical citizens. And as I look around the room, many of you have long ties to Spartanburg High School. You're a Spartanburg High School graduate. Some of you are new to our area, so whatever situation you're in, I thank you, whether you're a Viking alumni or you're new to our area or maybe your child is new to Spartanburg High School. One thing you need to know is we pride ourselves on the tradition of our school, the excellence of our school, and innovation. And innovation is a word that I want us to continue to have on the tip of our tongue because this schedule and where we are moving forward is very innovative and it's going to set us apart, which is what we want our Spartanburg High School to be, is a great school, an excellent school, and one that the community is proud of, which I know that it is. If you don't know our team, again, hopefully you'll talk with your student. So blessed with our administrative team here, from Mr. Parker to Mr. Daniels, Mr. Boucher, Ms. Johnson, Dr. Rice, Dr. Collins, and Mr. Smith. They all have their areas of expertise. If you have your student may talk about their administrator, it's broken up in alphabetical order. Again, so thankful many of them are here. They were here last night, here tonight. They'll be here on Thursday night. They believe in what we're doing here. And again, I'm very blessed to work alongside them. Very thankful for what they do for me, not only as principal, but just personally as a leader. Can't say enough about our guidance team, Dr. Love and Ms. Holmes, and then Ms. Lyerly, Ms. Robertson, Ms. Jones, Coach Davenport, Ms. Foster, Ms. Hicklin, Ms. Jones, and Ms. Long. Tremendous guidance team. One of the questions or comments last night with our seniors is they know a lot of their guidance folks. One thing I want to challenge your child is to get to know not only their administrator, but their counselor. They need to be on a first-name basis with their counselor because we're the ones that are ultimately helping shape their decisions that they're making. You guys do a lot of that at home, and I appreciate that. But this is a partnership. When they come here, it's up to us to help guide them because we're working hand in hand with what you're saying and what your goals are, but we're helping shape them into the people that our world desperately needs. And so as we work with them, we ask things like, what are your plans? What are your goals? Are you college bound or you want to go into the workforce? And helping them reach that. But we're also really key in what happens to them after high school as far as recommendations go, letter of reference, things of that sort. We need to be on a relationship and a first-name basis with your student. We're over 2,100 students here at Spartanburg High School. And so getting to know them is very important for us so we can speak to their character and to the things they need in their post-secondary goals. So again, very thankful for our guidance team and our administrative team. So many of you know our current schedule right now is students have 7 classes a day. We're a 7-period day traditional schedule. We start at 8:15. We dismiss at 3:30. This schedule we go over in all of our class meetings and grade level meetings. Your students know this backwards and forwards. Your students' lunch is based on their 5th period class. We run 3 lunches. This year, one of the things that we do not do is anything specific during lunch. If you have a sophomore student, last year they started off with a little bit of Viking hour, which is a 1-hour lunch period, and then we shifted that to Viking Flex. It's been a kind of a labor of love, trying to find the right method to interventions in our processes, but this year we have a traditional 7-period day and a 3-lunch model again for our students. So that takes me to one of the first things we're looking at is defining the schedule. Spartanburg High School is one of the few schools left in South Carolina that operates on a traditional schedule, which means that students have classes, 7 classes a day, the same 7 classes all year long, between 50 and 55 minutes, and our students earn up to 7 credits a year. One of the things that we're looking at is a blended schedule model that combines not only the traditional model that we have now, but what we call block classes. And a block schedule is students take 4 classes that are what we call semester long from August to December, and then an additional 4 classes in the spring semester from January to May. And those students earn up to 8 credits. So this is where the whole premise of tonight's meeting is that at Spartanburg High School, what we've been looking at for about the last year and a half or so is a blend of both year-long courses and block schedule classes. And so that blended schedule model is what we are proposing and presenting to you tonight. So again, current model, 7 classes, 7 periods all year long. A block schedule is 4 semester-long classes, and they are 90 minutes long. So again, the time in class is 90 minutes from August to December. After Christmas, those students would go into 4 new classes for 90 minutes and earn 8 credits. Okay, keep those numbers in mind because we'll talk about graduation here momentarily. So if you look, for 25-26, the blended schedule model looks like this. You run an 8-period day. So we now extend from 7 to 8 periods, but we still start at 8:15 and dismiss at 3:30. So for you guys who your child is not an early morning person, we're not starting school any earlier. And for you guys that hate fighting the traffic on East Main, we're not dismissing any later. I know both those things are very real issues that we deal with. So if you look at this model, in red, you see the 4 blocks of time. First, second, third, and fourth block. Each one of them is 90 minutes, an hour and a half, with the exception of third block. And the only reason why third block is longer is because that is when your lunches happen. And then in between those 4 blocks of time, you have 2 year-long periods. So in block 1, from 8:15 to 9:45, if a student has what we call a semester-based class, they would be in that class for an hour and a half from August to December. Some of your students will be in what we call year-long classes, just like we have now, and that's no different than what we have now. They would be in period 1 in that block of time. It's a 43-minute class. Remember, this class goes from August to May, and then they would go to period 2 for 43 minutes, and the same throughout the day. We would run a 3-lunch schedule, which is in the bottom, highlighted in yellow. And again, still dismiss at 3:30. And then one of the key components to this is in gold there in the center, called Viking time. So again, a 4-block schedule with periods in the blocks. So as we start looking at course requests and student schedules, there are students that would be in semester-long classes, and some students would take year-long courses depending on the course requests and depending on the type of course. We know some of them are going to continue to meet all year long, which we'll talk about here in a second. Some of you are visual learners. We do have copies of sample student schedules for you to review in just a moment, so hang tight. If you look at Viking time, that center piece right there from 11:25 to 11:50, Very excited about this possibility for our students because it's unlike anything we've ever done. If you look at what Viking time is, guys, we know that our students need time during the day to do the things they need to do to be successful. If you think about the course of history of the last 3 years at Spartanburg High School, at one point they did a Viking hour, which was student choice. They had to sign up for a session, they could go eat lunch, and then they would flip. Last year, that model was very difficult for us because we had a very large freshman class. We had almost 800 freshmen last year, and there were times where some of them did not get to eat in the lunch model, so we had to do away with it. That's a hard thing as a principal to take a phone call from my parents and say, my child didn't have enough time to eat today. So we had to switch that. So then we switched to a flex time, and then we found out that it was an issue for our students to take advantage of that time. So over the course of the last 6 to 8 months and even 12 months, we've looked at how can we put in what we call an intervention time for all of our students and make it work. And that's where the concept of Viking time has come out. What this is a schedule you see at the bottom. And if you'll follow along with me, we've sketched out a 2-week schedule just for your benefit, but we would have a full 180-day schedule of this as well. This is not a student choice. Every day, every student knows where they're going. On Mondays, we have created what we call homeroom. For the first time in a long time, every Spartanburg High School student will have a homeroom teacher. Why is that the case and why is that necessary? Because I believe that our students need adult advocates, not just their teachers, not just their counselors, and not just their administrators, but they need someone else they can connect to. Every Monday, your student will report to homeroom during Viking time at 11:20. What's going to happen in homeroom? Some of the things that we cannot take class time for. Guidance, course registration, college and career readiness, our Viking TV program, some things that we have to do for the State Department that your child has to go through. School-wide surveys. We're getting close to our survey time from the State Department, but also this time is also a chance for them to have that connection with another adult on campus in that homeroom model. If you look at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if I'm in a semester-based class on Tuesdays at 11:20, I'm going back to my first block teacher. What am I doing in that class? I'm catching up on some work. I'm turning in a quiz I may have missed. I'm retaking a test. Maybe my teacher's working with me on some interventions that I need. All right, or maybe it turns into a quiet study time or a reading time in those 25 minutes. We have study halls in our schedule right now. This gives all of our students a chance to circle back to their class. And what I love is when I connect back into this class for 25 minutes, that's less time I'm having to do something at home. And think about your student. Now, for our freshman students that may not be working a job yet, but think about our older upperclassmen students. If I can get the things I need done here with my teacher at Spartanburg High School, that's less I have to do outside of school. Think about your child who's an athlete or in performing arts. They are playing a sport here or being in band, chorus, orchestra. It's a full-time job. You guys know because you're shuttling them back and forth to the practices and the games, and there's just not enough time in the day. If we can build back this time into their schedule, then our students are going to be able to connect back with their teachers. You see every Tuesday. Just look at your block category first. Every Wednesday, same verse, all right? Second verse, same as the first, I say. I'm going back to my second block class. I'm going back to my third block on Thursday. And Friday, I'm going to my fourth block. The only thing that rotates is the student who's in a year-long class. Remember, year-long classes are going to meet 43 minutes all year long from August to May. On these days during Viking time, I'm reporting back to my period. So on Monday, I go to my homeroom. On Tuesday of this week, I'm going back to my first period. I'm getting 25 extra minutes in that year-long class. Maybe the teacher's going through an assignment. Maybe I've got some new instructional time. Maybe I'm getting some more direct instruction from my teacher. Whatever it may be, I'm building back 25 more minutes with that student once a week. First period, third period, fifth period, seventh period. The following week, your block schedule doesn't change. You go 2, 4, 6, and 8. These are your periods. This is when you're reporting back. This is the only thing that looks like an A-B schedule. The beauty of this is, now that we have our calendar for 25-26, we would already have this sketched out for 180 days of where your child's going to go. Okay? What it is and what it's not. It's not free reign for student. Student's not going to be walking down the hallway on a Monday because I'm going to look dead at him and say, you're supposed to be at homeroom. They know where they're going every day. It's not student choice. Guys, I found when you give high school students a choice, they typically don't make the right one. Okay? Choices in my profession get you fired. So we're going to tell them where to go. Okay? And they're going to get this time built back in. I'm so excited about this because I truly believe that time with their teachers is where it's at. Okay? They're the expert with those students and with that child and what they need. And we just don't have that right now. So this intentional schedule builds that time back into both your block classes and your year-long courses. So when you look at the schedule and you look at that Viking time, that's where that is. Now, you may be thinking, well, my child, has a Daniel Morgan class or has a class off campus. What do they do if they don't have a first block to report to or a second block? That's where the beauty of this campus, we have collaborative spaces where those students can go for 25 minutes in different supervision areas. All right, that question came up last night. That's a great question. I do have a spot for you at the end to submit questions, but I want to go ahead and get in front of that because I know some people are thinking, well, my child may be at Daniel Morgan or taking a class off campus and they don't actually have a course to report to. I know that's going to be something we have to look at, but we have spaces on campus that your students already know, whether it be the cafeteria or the student center, where they can land for those 25 minutes. So why now, guys? Why are we looking at this now? Guys, y'all need to understand that the high school setting in 2025 is not the same as when we were in high school. We are talking about what individual students need to be successful. No student is alike. You know your child better than anybody. You know their hopes, their dreams, their goals, and you know their future. We're just simply a small part of that. But our goal is to promote an individual pathway for every student. And guys, this blended schedule allows this to happen. First off, it reduces your teacher and student course loads at one time. Think about your student now managing 7 classes. Let's say they shift to some more semester-based classes. They automatically go from 7 to 4 at one time, not 7. All right, that's much more manageable when you look at workload, homework, things of that sort. All right, fewer classes to prepare for. Students gaining more individual attention. Again, in most cases going from 50 minutes to 90 minutes now. There's more time for reteaching, more time for project-based things, more time in the classroom. You saw them hopefully as you came in tonight, but we need to connect our students with more opportunities and partnerships like Daniel Morgan, our Career Center, but also classes like dual enrollment and advanced placement. Remember, we're going from 7 to 8. We're adding an additional credit opportunity. So whether your student is college prep and they don't like coming to school and you're pulling teeth in the morning to get them to come here, or those that have come to us with credits from middle school and we know they're going to a prestigious institution out of state, or they're bound for Carolina or Clemson or Wofford or Furman, all students are going potentially from 7 to 8 credits. Okay, all of them, whether it's a college prep course or dual enrollment or advanced placement. We have really struggled in the past with aligning our schedule with Daniel Morgan and other things like the Master Skills Center, which most people don't know about because we don't have a lot of students go there. All of those groups are here tonight in the atrium. Daniel Morgan, the Master Skills Center, and Spartanburg Community College, which is our dual enrollment provider. Okay? And again, think about how many credits your child needs to graduate. They only need 24. If I can earn 8 a year, I'm technically able to graduate at the end of my junior year. So my senior year now turns into potentially the chance for me to explore courses that I enjoy. Take an advanced placement course. Take 5. Take dual enrollment courses. Or, again, you know your child better than others. In this model, you will see students graduate at Christmas. If they graduate at Christmas, their degree is given to them. They don't have to come back. Some of our senior parents last night were like, where do I sign up? How do I get some of that right now? Okay? But understand that that's where the beauty of an additional credit gives you the freedom and flexibility. You don't have to graduate at Christmas. What I would do is I would encourage you to come back and take dual enrollment opportunities, advanced placement opportunities, other high interest courses. But we do know that there are some that it's been a labor of love to get them to that finish line. And they ain't coming back. And that's okay. They're work ready, they have that diploma, they're ready to go. But we're going to encourage our students to stay and take the courses that we have available to them. Think about your students' benefit. Very simply, mathematically, we start offering 8 versus 7. Think about your class schedule. If I'm in a semester-based class, the way most of the times it's done is you have 2 core classes and 2 electives per semester. Think about your student managing their course load right now. A lot of our students really struggle with managing 7 classes, particularly with many of them having a math, an English, a science, a heavy social studies on their schedule. It's really difficult for them. Again, we're still talking about a blended schedule. You know your child. Some of your children will be in semester-based classes. Some will have a mixture of both year-long and semester-based classes. We talked about reducing homework and academic demands at one time. This mirrors college schedule. Okay? This actually mirrors a college schedule. Colleges are semester-based enrollment. You have so many college classes that you take. Usually they're 3 hours. You may have a Thursday class that has a lab. This mirrors college classes. It also gives opportunities for dual enrollment and advanced placement classes. When I show you the schedule here in a second, it will make sense. One of the things that is not pleasant to discuss, but it happens, is, and this may not be your child because you're here, but sometimes our students are not successful. And that's in any high school, not just Spartanburg High School, but any student in any high school. Giving a student 8 opportunities versus 7 also allows them to get back on track or recover a class. You need to know that if a child fails a course in the fall, instead of a year-long model, which we're on now, that student could recover that class and pass in the spring. That gets them back on track to graduate. That's important. Again, expands graduation opportunities, more space in their schedule for apprenticeship programs, internships, dual enrollment, cooperative learning, advanced placement as well. And then one of the things too is it allows for them to change their schedule at the semester if necessary. This is really important. Guys, there are conflicts between teacher and student all over the place. That's not just a sole Spartanburg High School issue. In this model, if I have 4 classes after Christmas, I get a fresh start per se. I finished with that one teacher, I finished with that class. The class was difficult, it was tough, it challenged me, but I come back after Christmas with 4 new classes and a new mindset. Some of our younger students, particularly 9th graders, need that reset. They need that time to reset and go into a fresh course. And again, it maximizes opportunities in which your students are interested in. In the blended schedule model, you'll see year-long classes. Our AP students can continue in AP classes that would meet year-long. Again, if you know about advanced placement, why do those students meet year-long? The test is in the spring. Okay, we would track them all year long in those classes in preparation for the AP exam. Some of your performing arts students, if their conductors wish to do so, can continue to meet in year-long courses. This is where I'm really proud of the work that our teams have put in, because our teachers have really tackled this and looked at what's best for kids. They've looked at what they're teaching, and they've looked at whether it needs to be a year-long or a semester-based course, to the point now as we start looking at course recommendations, we can build what that master schedule looks like. Think about your child. If they're an athlete, you would have a 90-minute block for conditioning and sport performance. Again, many of our students are involved in things outside of school. This actually lets some of your sports teams practice during the day, during their class. It minimizes the time spent on the fields of play after school, gets them home earlier and home with you, so you're not having to spend so much time here at Spartanburg High School. Again, block classes. If I have a 90-minute class, it's more time for me in that class with that teacher, refining and getting reteaching and building those academic skills and concepts that are so important to me. So if you look, we took, I have 2 slides for you, and we're almost done. We took 9 of our students, just for this presentation, we have about 45 to 50 sketched out in every class. And we played around with current schedules and overlaid that into a blended schedule model. And if you look, these are real students right now who are sophomores. Names have been taken to protect the innocent. But if you look at the schedules, you will see, hopefully in a visual form, what we're looking at. If you start with just, again, sophomore 1 through 9, but remember, you're talking about semester 1 and semester 2. Anytime you see open or an additional open course, that is where the blended schedule model comes in, because you've opened up from 7 to 8 credits. So with this student, you would look at their fall semester. They would need to choose a course, which is, again, up to them for their choice. They would take a Chemistry 2 honors in the fall and English 2 honors. So that would be first block, second block, third block. But look at the bottom. In fourth block, they would actually skinny or do a year-long AP World History and also AP Psychology. So the same block of time, but 2 skinny courses in 1 block. And in the fall semester, they would take Spanish 2 honors, AP Chem. If you know, we are already double blocking chemistry and biology at Spartanburg High School. Those students take Chem 2 honors in the fall and take the AP Chem class at the same time on a traditional schedule. The student would then go into pre-cal honors, and again, no change here. Why? I'm glad you asked. Those classes are year-long. So how many credits is this student getting? 1 of their choice. We don't know what that is yet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many APs? 1, 2, 3. Already as a freshman, or excuse me, as a sophomore, and this student probably would have had AP Human Geography or maybe an AP Gov. So as you kind of peruse across the screen, you see we still have study halls built in. This student actually is part of our capstone program, AP Seminar, AP World. So if you look in that first block of time, and this is a second block, study hall skinny, and then AP Seminar, still in French, still takes an art class. And if you look across, you see additional courses. Then you see a student that's still in our choral program. This is an example of the skinny, where a student would be in AP World and then be in mixed choir. So again, all of your performing arts classes as well. Open slot, these are choices that those students and their parents now have options to look at. All the way over to, you see Daniel Morgan, the student could actually be enrolled in cybersecurity, and then an intermediate algebra course. Instructional areas of support. We do know that we have students that need more student services and more support. Those classes are also thought of in this process as we move through. Music technology, Spanish, you see all the courses that we have. This is where that blended schedule would open up, again, the option for an additional credit. If you have a current freshman, it's very similar, but some specific courses to freshmen. Again, you look here, an open class. This student would be in an AP Human Geography all year long, and then tag that into a comprehensive health class, which is only a semester. And so actually, once they finish that course, they would then have the option to go and pick up another course. One of the great things, I think probably the only good thing that came out of COVID, is our virtual offerings have expanded. So your student may be able to do what I call stack classes and have a study hall, like this student here, but while they're in study hall, be also enrolled in a virtual class. So that's actually killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Remember, study hall does not count as a credit, but it does allow students to have that time on campus. And in that time, if they're working on their classes, we could also put them in a virtual course as well. So again, you see a number of this student here. You see athletic refinement or team sports. Those would be where those 90-minute athletic classes come in. Again, another AP Human. You have a world language there. And then they're getting their credits from year to year, semester to semester. Even your early college program and part of the VEC, they would be in those classes in a block schedule in this fall and spring semester too. So where you see open, you may even see some early dismissals or late arrivals, depending on some certain circumstances as well. You see some half credit courses there, These are things that are available to them. You even have a band member here, band in the fall, which ties into their competition season and football season, and then a spring wind ensemble as well, and still is in choir all year long too. So I know one of the challenges is talking about class conflict and things of that sort. In the blended schedule model, you take the best of both and put them together. So again, a visual for you that you can see. It's not 100% accurate as far as the student schedule, but it gives you an example of current student classes in that model. It's never too early or too late to talk about our advanced placement offerings. As we talk about going from 7 to 8 credits, some of your students are already involved in AP, but I wanted to give you just a quick snapshot of all the courses that we offer here for advanced placement credit. You see in our language area, in math, science, a number of classes in our history and social sciences, the arts, and computer science, okay? So as your child is looking at, some of them have already taken AP Human Geography, some of them are in AP World History now. As they look into their sophomore or junior year, these opportunities are present for them to take, and I know they're going to have success. We had over an 80% passage rate last year as a school at Spartanburg High School. Gave almost 700 exams with an 80% passage rate. Our advanced placement program is strong, and I love the fact that we're offering an additional credit from 7 to 8 for students who are interested in that. Remember, you know your child better than anybody. If they are dead set on leaving the state of South Carolina for college, they need to look at advanced placement. It's universally recognized. Okay? On the same token, dual enrollment has also made a comeback and grown in our area. Dual enrollment courses are courses where your student is dually enrolled as a high school student at Spartanburg and also as a student with Spartanburg Community College. And not just SCC. We do have what we call a memorandum of understanding with certain colleges where your child can take dual enrollment through those colleges too, like USC Upstate. We even have some taking some dual enrollment through some colleges outside of South Carolina. But we offer English 101, 102, Math 110, Teacher Cadet, U.S. History. We've offered Western Civilization and American Sign Language in the past, and we're adding more for our 2025-26 school year. This is the same GPA as an advanced placement course. And so for some of our students as they're looking at GPA or college credits, parents, the best way I can say this is money in your pocket. They can take courses through us. Most of the times they are free. If there's any type of charge, it's very little. And they can transfer these classes in to a lot of your in-state institutions. And that saves you money coming out of your pocket. We also offer dual enrollment courses at Daniel Morgan, and you see those classes there. So again, it's very strategic and very intentional that those groups are here every night this week, so you have the chance to visit with them and find out more if your child is interested in those classes. And now that they have a blended schedule model, there may be more room in their schedule for these courses, which I'm very excited about. So there will be many more questions to this. But a couple of questions that we've kind of looked at right off the bat is, think about your child. Can they maintain an attention span of a 90-minute class versus a 50-minute class? One of the things we've already started with our teachers is preparing them and discussing the strategies for our classroom engagement. We just had one of our first meetings in the last month with our teachers about, hey, what does it look like to teach from 50 to 90 minutes? Preparing them, giving them the strategies so they can have a toolbox for our classes to make sure those students are engaged in learning in those classes. Our student absence is more critical in block schedule because they're a semester-based class. Guys, I will tell you, attendance is critical regardless of the high school model. If your child is not here, they're missing instruction. Plain and simple. Okay? You're here tonight, which means your child probably comes to school, so I know I'm preaching to the choir. But understand that attendance is critical. No matter what our model is, attendance is critical. Is attendance more critical in a block schedule? It is, because remember, I'm in classes from August to December. If I miss a day in October or November, okay, my class finishes at Christmas, I've got to be here. Chronic absenteeism is a problem all across our state and our country. We've got to get a way for our students to want to come to school and enjoy that. Is there any impact to my student and their existing credit? Absolutely not. If anything, these opportunities expand credit opportunities for your student. There's nothing that's going to impact their credit or their opportunities right now. If anything, this schedule expands those for them in the 8-period model. So what's kind of happened this week? We've met with our rising seniors. We're meeting obviously right now. We'll meet with our rising freshmen on Thursday. This coming Thursday, we're right in the middle of course registration with our counseling department. We're working with our teachers on course registrations. If you have a student in middle school as an 8th grader, we've brought both of those groups over to campus in the last month, both Carver and McCracken. We've toured those 8th graders. And then we're also in the process of IGP meetings. And I do want to direct your attention to our Spartanburg High School counseling page. If you go to our website, just spart7.org, and in our beautiful website, you can click on guidance and go to our guidance page, which has a number of information, a number of important links there and very helpful information as you think about your student's IGP. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's your student's individual graduation plan. That is where you, who know your child, can talk with our counselor about the courses that they want to be in, the courses that they need to be in to graduate, and the opportunities in front of them moving forward. Particularly if you have a rising junior, that IGP process is going to look very, very, not intense, but it's going to be big as you plan their junior year. So please go to our webpage and look at our guidance page. They've done a tremendous job with that, a number, again, of helpful information there and links. The last two things, guys, is I want you to understand this has been, I cannot stress to you all enough how important and how much I want you to know how great our school is and how great our kids are and how great our faculty and staff is and how committed we are to being excellent. If you hear nothing else from me tonight, understand this. As principal of this school, it is important to me that our school is the best. And it is everything that it's supposed to be. And this process is going to revolutionize the opportunities for every one of our students. And it gives me goosebumps when I talk about that. And I hope that you're excited. I hope that your child has a great experience here so far. But this is going to take that and take it to a whole nother level. We want to be excellent. We are excellent. And these opportunities in front of them are going to give your child something that's going to set them apart amongst their peers. Nobody else is doing this. And when we talk about tradition and excellence and innovation, it's not just lip service. These are things that we truly believe in being innovative. Okay? I do want you to go to this QR code. This is the most giant QR code you've ever seen. Pull out your phones. There's no cell phone policy after 3:30, so students, you feel free to do that. Thank you for your help with that, guys. That's been a tremendous success here at Spartanburg High School. I don't take the time to say that enough, but we have a landing page here of questions. And please, this takes you to a Google form. We are working behind the scenes with our team to answer questions that people may not feel comfortable with, or may not say, I don't have time and I want to submit this question. It's a very simple questionnaire, your name, your student's grade, and basically just a short answer. What are your questions? What are questions that you have? Think about your child, what questions you have about the schedule. We are recording each one of these sessions each night. Once we get through this week, we'll post these so our folks can go back and look at them. I know we have a lot of working folks that simply could not be here, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. But this QR code is kind of our landing page for where we are as a staff and be able to answer your questions in a timely manner. Again, as we dismiss, please visit our SEC folks and our Daniel Morgan folks and our Master Skills Center people outside. Go to the QR code, leave your question. Myself and my team will be here, kind of on the floor. If you have a question, come talk to me. If not, put your question here. And there will be other sessions we'll do as we get closer to the next school year. Once we know more of our course registrations and more of our schedules, we'll do some more informational things as we get closer to the start of next school year. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great night. Thank you.